Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another of my live videos. So, Manchester United have completed the signing of Daniel James. Obviously, our first signing this summer and our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. We have completed the signing of him. I think we've got him for around initial £15 million with initial add-ons included. So it does potentially rise to around 17 or 18 million pounds. And Daniel James has signed a 5-year deal with an option of a further year. So this is very good news indeed. Obviously, it came out about this story last month, saying that Manchester United, were close to agreeing around the £15 million deal for Daniel James. So this is very good news indeed. Like I did currently say, he's only young. He's only 21 years of age, so he is going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, perfectly. Is Daniel James. He's got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. He primarily plays on the wing. Does Daniel James. You can play him on the left, you can play him on the right. I think he can also play him as an attacking midfielder, but he's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side. So I do presume this is where Manchester United, of course, will put him. Obviously, Daniel James made his senior debut for Swansea in February of last year, and I think he played about 30-odd games for Swansea last season, did Daniel James. And obviously, he only had a year left on his deal with Swansea, but his own preference, he wanted to make the move to Manchester United, because obviously, quite a few teams, inquired about his services. Obviously, Leeds were on the brink of getting him in January. Obviously, Everton inquired about his services. Obviously, Brighton came in right at the final hurdle for him. So he attracted interest, from quite a few clubs, but he wanted to make the move to Manchester United. But the question is, has he got the abilities? Has he got the minerals to make it to the highest level? Because let's be honest, he's now taking his footballing career to the next level, and he's taking a huge step in his career, coming from the Championship and coming to the Premier League, of course. So can he exceed expectation levels at Manchester United? And that is the big question indeed. So it's very good that we have got our first signing on the board this summer and our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So hopefully he can deliver the goods to Manchester United. Like I said, I have got some reservations about him. He's not really good in the air. He's not really that good at tracking back, but he can cut it from that flank really well. He can score goals, Daniel James. So it will be good for him, to come and experience the Manchester United facilities. So he has signed a 5-year deal with us with an option to extend it by a further year. So this is very good news indeed. So obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad. So now we've got Daniel James in. He'll be looking to build on that, and he'll be looking to bring another 4 or 5 more players to Manchester United. Like I said, you can see the deficiencies in the squad. You can identify the areas where Manchester United, of course, are lacking. And obviously, we've got to get the right recruitment this summer. And a lot of people said, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because there's a lot of players on our agenda that are available for a reasonable figure. So some people have said, we should be sensible with our current recruitment. Like I said, I think probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer. Obviously, our spending spree is around £200 million. So I did say that should be enough to get us around 4 or 5 players on the board. Like I said, depending on how we are with our current recruitment. But yeah, we have got our first signing, of course, in Daniel James. Very good news indeed. I want to give you the latest news in regards to the director of football. Now, reportedly, Manchester United are not expected to appoint a sporting director, which is very disappointing news. So this means Ed Woodward, will be overseeing our transfer business, of course. And I'm very annoyed about this, because obviously we do know so many candidates, have been linked to, with that director's role at Manchester United. We know Rio Ferdinand's been linked with it. We do know there's been talks of Darren Fletcher coming in. There's been talks of Paul Mitchell before. There's been talks of Eddie van der Sar. There's also been talks of Patrice Evra, because quite clearly, we do need a structural change at the club. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing this summer. But now reportedly, we're not expected to appoint a sporting director in. So this is really bad news. So now, can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer succeed in these conditions? And like I said about Solskjaer, I love him a lot. He's a great player for us for 11 years, but he hasn't really got the experience of a manager, and this is what does concern me, especially not to the highest level. Hasn't really won much as a manager. Yeah, he won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mold. He had a great pedigree as a player, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and of course, obviously as a player, one of his most iconic moments, of course, is when he scored that goal in 1999. Of course, won us the Champions League, and of course, won the treble that season. And obviously, that's one of the club's greatest achievements and all that. And he was a great player for us, because he served 11 years as a player, but he hasn't really got the experience as a manager. I don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can take this team forward. Obviously, we'll find out going on into next season. And if things do go wrong next season, I will be critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I will want him out of Manchester United, even though I love him. And like I said, I don't want us to keep sacking managers, because we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers. Obviously, we've already sacked 3, since Alex Ferguson, currently retired. But we have got to get our number 1 targets this summer. I know it's going to be hard for us to do that, because we're not in Champions League football for next season. But Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season. He still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football. But like I said, in the next couple of seasons anyway, I think our aspirations is going to be that top four. It's going to be that top four without a shadow of a doubt. I think we're a number of years off, from winning the league or mounting any kind of title challenge up. Because at the moment, City are strides ahead of us. Liverpool, of course, are strides ahead of us, and it's very imperative that we catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But we all know we've been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years. We've had different managers, different philosophies and all that since Ferguson retired, and a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. Jose Mourinho spent just under £400 million at Manchester United. Obviously, the couple of main factor reasons why it didn't work out under him, because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the player, even though he did win 2 trophies in his first season there with the club. Obviously, he's inheriting players even from the Louis van Gaal era, there's Matty from the David Moyes era, he's still inheriting 4 or 5, players even, he's still inheriting 4 or 5 players, from the Alex Ferguson era, of course, so he is still in the process of rebuilding, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on, trying to bring, the right players to Manchester United who thinks are going to be good enough to represent Manchester United, who thinks are going to be good enough, to elevate this club forward, and he wants to bring players who've got that work ethic, that physicality and all that, and he wants to bring players who are going to fit the culture of the club, and who he thinks of course are going to fit the history of the club, because obviously quite clearly there is cultural problems at Manchester United, but like I said, it was really, really good, in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first 3 months as interim manager, he exceeded expectation levels, everything was going well, there was, the performances were good, the results were really, really good, and he was getting the best out of his group of players. It just seemed to me when he got the job, it all seemed to have gone wrong, quite some time. It all went wrong, when he got the job permanently. But like I said, we need vast improvements going on into next season of what we witnessed there last season. Because obviously, we finished 6th last season. Obviously, didn't win out last season, of course. So we need to enjoy a better season next season, of course. That is very, very essential indeed. But the good news is we have got Daniel James on the board. Like I said, he signed a 5-year deal with an option of a further year. So hopefully he can deliver the goods to Manchester United. And I do believe our next signing is probably going to be Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, did say, he would speak with Sporting Lisbon, about leaving if a team came up with an offer, that he can't currently refuse and all that. So if a big club comes calling, I think, he wants to leave Sporting Lisbon. But I would say Manchester United are having the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, I think we are prepared to pay around £70 million for his services, because I think this is what Sporting Lisbon are demanding for Bruno Fernandes. Quite a few teams have been in there for Bruno Fernandes, because it's very imminent. He's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon. Obviously a lot of reports were coming out from the Portuguese press last week saying that Tottenham were in there for him. It also said Liverpool were in there for him. And like I said, the main factor reason why Tottenham are in for him, because obviously they're seeing him as an alternative to Giovanni Lo Celso, and plus they're looking for a replacement for Christian Eriksen. And obviously, Christian Eriksen's linked with a move to Real Madrid. And obviously Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer, because obviously, they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, the last player they signed was Lucas Moura back in January 2018, and was back in January 2018 and all that, and they haven't, like I said, they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows, so they have got quite a few midfielders on their agenda. Like I said, Liverpool would interest him. I think he would if he went to Liverpool, which I don't see happening. I think he'd fit their system really well. Obviously, Liverpool can offer him Champions League football, Tottenham can offer him Champions League football, but I like Bruno Fernandes a lot, and he's one of our main priority targets. He did initially say, we had scheduled a meeting with Sporting Lisbon, to get a deal finalised, but we do know it's been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for Bruno Fernandes. But reports came out last week saying that Manchester City had reportedly withdrawn their interest. They've pulled them out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. But he did initially say that Manchester City were only willing to pay around £40 million for his services, and offer him a couple of their players as part of the deal. But I think now we are going to get a deal over the line for him. Even the reports came out last week, or was it earlier on this week, if I can remember rightly, it said Ed Woodward was hesitant over our transfer move for Bruno Fernandes, because I think Ed Woodward has got reservations about us spending big on players who he doesn't think are going to step up to the mark at Manchester United. But I do believe Bruno Fernandes will. I know he hasn't really played to the highest level as yet, but he's been good in his couple of seasons with Sporting Lisbon. He's exceeded expectation levels, and I do believe he can replicate this form at Manchester United, and I do believe he can exceed expectation levels in the Premier League with us, of course. Obviously had a hell of a lot of experience of playing in Italy when he was younger. Obviously spent the majority of his career in Italy when he was younger, with the likes of Sampdoria and Udinese. And I think he did say, he still watches the Italian Championship, Bruno Fernandes. And obviously, he did mention, that he had a great time in Italy. So is there a possibility, chance that he could make a return back to Italy? But I would say Manchester United are in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for him. He is under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. Obviously, his initial release clause is around £86 million. So, yeah, I really like him. Primarily an attacking midfielder. So if Paul Pogba is to leave the club, obviously, Bruno Fernandes would be the adequate replacement for him. And like I said, if we get into the spending spree is £200 million, but I said it's going to amount up to a lot more than that. If we're cashing for Lukaku, if we're cashing for Pogba, as I was saying, and that's going to help us with our rebuilding process, and it will help us with our transition if we can cash in for them. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing everything he can to try and keep Paul Pogba at the football club, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative Paul Pogba is. But there's a possibility, chance that Pogba and Lukaku could remain here. Obviously, based on the huge transfer fees that we have currently put on them. Like I said, Bruno Fernandes, would be the good adequate replacement for him. As I updated you earlier on about Wan-Bissaka, I've obviously been updating you about Wan-Bissaka on a regular basis. I like Wan-Bissaka a lot, and recent reports have allegedly been saying that reportedly he's told Crystal Palace that he wants to join Manchester United, and I'm still sceptical about Wan-Bissaka coming to Manchester United, because I don't think there's enough credibility in the stories as yet. I think recent reports have said Manchester United are preparing to put a bid in for him of around £50 million. Obviously, recently we've just had a £40 million bid turned down from Wan-Bissaka. Crystal Palace are reluctant to currently sell him, because Crystal Palace know how much of a central player he is to them. But reportedly, Crystal Palace have said, they want around £60 million for him, of course. But yeah, I like Wan-Bissaka a lot, because obviously he's British, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has expressed an interest in quite a few British players, because obviously he wants to recruit British talents this summer. And I like Wan-Bissaka a lot. He's predominantly a right back, as you all know, and that's one of the pivotal areas, of course, where Manchester United do need to strengthen up, because obviously we've got issues defensively. Obviously that was proven last season. Obviously we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season, so we have got, I think we need to get 2 central defenders in. We definitely need to get a right back in, but I do believe Wan-Bissaka would be the right solution. Obviously he's proven in the Premier League. Obviously he only made his senior debut for Crystal Palace in February of last year, so I think he's been their senior squad about 15 or 16 months, but last season established himself as a first team regular, of course. But I like him a lot. He's only had 21 years of age. He has got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. I think he's made about 42 senior appearances now of Crystal Palace. So like I said, he's predominantly a right back, regarded now as one of the best right backs in the Premier League. Initially, when he was younger, of course, he graduated from Crystal Palace's youth system. I think he joined their youth academy at the age of 11. He was actually an out-and-out winner, but as he was developing and all that, he got rotated as a current right back on Wan-Bissaka. But yeah, I think we are preparing to put a bid in of around £50 million. Whether Crystal Palace are willing to accept this or not, I do not know. I think also Tottenham have inquired about his services. They've been in for him. I think it came out a couple of weeks ago saying that we were preparing to put a bid in of around 25 million, but obviously this figure is going to be nowhere near enough to convince Crystal Palace to offload him. So as I was basically saying, so I think Wan-Bissaka would be a perfect successor to Antonio Valencia, because we need a replacement for Antonio Valencia, because obviously we do know that Antonio Valencia is leaving the club. Obviously he's been a long servant here. He's been at Manchester United 10 years. I think it remains uncertain where his next destination is going to be, but we know he's leaving Manchester United. I think will Valencia go to Ecuador? Will he go to the MLS? Because he has been talks about him going to the MLS. Will he retire? I do not know. Like I said as well, we need an upgrade to Ashley Young, because Ashley Young's too inconsistent now. He's one of the problematic players at the club. He has been at Manchester United now 8 years as Ashley Young. Like I said, he was good when he was younger. He was a really good winner. Was Ashley Young. Obviously he was our first choice right back last season. I think he's going to be given the captaincy for next season, which is a bad mistake. And obviously it was a bad mistake from us, giving Ashley Young that new 1 year extension. So he's been a long servant here, like I said. He's been here 8 years, but he has no longer got the abilities to fulfill that right back position. And obviously we need a cover up for Diego Dalot without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously we only got Diego Dalot last summer, and he's the upcoming future is Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot is predominantly a right back. He can also play as a winner, but he's predominantly a right back. And obviously last season, Ashley Young was our first choice right back. So when we did play Diego Dalot, when Ashley Young was playing, we put Diego Dalot at right wing, and we put Ashley Young at full back. Sometimes I think we rotated Dalot to left back. Sometimes we rotated Ashley Young, to left back and all that. But like I said, Ashley Young is one of the problematic players and all that. So yeah, so I think Wan-Bissaka, would be the right solution, as I was saying. I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. Got a hell of a lot of development in him, and his defensive capabilities are very, very good. So I do presume he's our top priority. But reportedly, if we do not get a deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka, we are looking at Norwich's Max Aarons, according to recent reports. Obviously, we're seeing him as an alternative, to Wan-Bissaka if we don't get a deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka. So Max Aarons, I don't really know much about him. I know he plays for Norwich. I think he's primarily a right back. Can also play him as a left back, but primarily a right back. Obviously, Norwich won the championship last season. Of course, I think it was only his first season in this in the senior squad with Norwich last season. I think he signed a new long-term, was it a new contract back in October of last year. He's only 19 years of age, so we're seeing him as an alternative to Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, there's been a lot of talks about Thomas Meunier from PSG going on, and looking at that, from a financial point of view, Thomas Meunier is a much cheaper solution than Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, he's going to substantially cost us a lot less than Wan-Bissaka, because he came out the other week saying that PSG are demanding from between 22 to 25 million pounds for his services and all that. This is what it basically said, and obviously Manchester United have inquired about his services. Obviously, Arsenal have inquired about his services, because actually Thomas Meunier, flourished under Unai Emery's guidance, but since Unai Emery left PSG, Thomas Meunier has found himself service to requirements, and this is the main factor reason why Thomas Meunier, of course, is set to leave PSG this summer. But yeah, I think it got revealed, he has been a Manchester United fan, since he was a youngster, Thomas Meunier obviously hasn't played in the Premier League as yet. He's aged 27 and he's still got a hell of a lot of development in him. Obviously, an experienced fullback, but he has been at PSG 3 seasons. I think he's made over 100 odd appearances. Like I said, he's got a year left on his deal. I think PSG paid around £5 million from Club Brugge. So there has been a lot of talks about Meunier going on. So he's predominantly a right back, can also play in other positions as well. So very versatile. He's got goals in him, he's got assists in him. So I do like Thomas Meunier a lot, but like I said, he's going to substantially cost us a lot less than Wan-Bissaka. So quite a few right backs on our current agenda. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis about Matthijs de Ligt from Ajax, of course, and I like Matthijs de Ligt a lot, as you all currently know. I think now reportedly, PSG are in the ascendancy of getting the player's signature, because I've just read a report and it did. I can't remember what report it was. Was it? I think it was a Telegraph or something like that. But it did reportedly say that PSG have reportedly offered around £70 million plus add-ons to Ajax, and reportedly says PSG have offered Matthijs de Ligt a 5-year contract worth around £340,000 a week. So now reportedly PSG are in the ascendancy. Reports do say that PSG have actually it does say that Matthijs de Ligt's agent Raiola has been in negotiations with the PSG sporting director and all that, and I think they've been in talks, and I think talks are set to continue over getting a deal over the line and all that. But I think Matthijs de Ligt's likely destinations now are either going to be Barcelona and PSG, so they are the two teams that are considered to be the favourites of getting the player's signature. But we do know, at least in the last couple of months anyway, that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy, even though it did say that talks had stalled the other week. The main factor reason why the talks had currently stalled, because obviously they couldn't come to an agreement on the terms. Barcelona were not willing to meet what de Ligt was demanding and what his agent Raiola, of course, was demanding, even though some reports speculated out saying that his transfer to Barcelona is a done deal and all that. The initial fee has been agreed, but yeah, I think Barcelona, it did say, are set to reopen talks with his agent Raiola sometime this week, but Matthijs de Ligt has not yet fully made a decision on his future. I'm not too sure when he's going to make a decision on his future. Is it in the next week or two he's going to make a decision on his future? But it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving Ajax without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, so many teams have inquired about his services, because he has been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window. But I think Matthijs de Ligt wants to take his footballing career to the next level. But yeah, Man United have been in there for him. It does say Manchester United have offered him a contract worth up to around 350 grand a week. Obviously, this equates to almost 17 million pounds a year. And obviously, if this was to process, which I don't see happening now, it would make him the highest paid teenager in world football. Obviously, as well, make him one of the highest paid players at Manchester United and all that. But I just don't see him coming to Manchester United now, because I think he wants to join a club that can offer him Champions League football. Obviously, Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football, and I think he also wants to go to a club that's going to be able to show him first team football. And Manchester United, would be able to show Matthijs de Ligt first team football without a shadow of a doubt. I do think if he came in, it would help us with our rebuilding. It would help us with our own rebuilding project and all that. And obviously, he's been one of our main priority targets, because obviously we need a central defender, because obviously that's one of the pivotal areas where we need to strengthen up. I said we need 2 central defenders, of course, because like I said, Smalling's not good enough. Phil Jones, of course, is not good enough. Too inconsistent now for Manchester United. Plus aging up, it was a bad mistake for Manchester Manchester United, giving them 2 new long-term contracts. Smalling's been here 9 years. Phil Jones, of course, has been here 8 years. So they have been 2 long-serving players at the club. Comparing them, Smalling's a much better defender there than Phil Jones, but they have demonstrated with how long they have been here that they can hold the line well and that they can, play well and all that. But like I said, I've got too many reservations about them 2 now. So we know they're going to beat Manchester United next season. But this is why I said we need 2 central defenders. We've got Eric Bailly, but like I said with Eric Bailly, I like him a lot. He's good when he's fully fit, but he's got great potential. But he's initially lost his place in the team now, and I think Eric Bailly's career has been badly affected. The amount of, with the amount of injuries he has sustained. With the amount of injuries he's sustained, with his fallout and the managers, I think Eric Bailly's, career has been affected there with Manchester United. And obviously, it was Jose Mourinho's first signing. Jose Mourinho got 11 players in, spent just under 400 million. But actually, Eric Bailly was the first signing. So if we were open to selling Eric Bailly this summer or whenever, we'd probably looking to recoup the initial £30 million that we did pay for him from Villarreal back in 2016. But for me, too injury prone now. So yeah, I love Matty Serdal a lot. I think, obviously Liverpool have inquired about his services, because obviously the main factor reason why Liverpool have inquired, because obviously Liverpool, would like to, put Matty Stirlett alongside Virgil van Dijk in their back line and all that. And obviously Virgil van Dijk and Matty Stirlett, have probably got a good relationship because, they know each other really well. They both play in the Netherlands national team. Of course, they are both Dutch. So I think this is the main factor reason why Liverpool have been in for him. Obviously, Bayern Munich have previously been in for him, but they've opted out of the race now. Also, Juventus have also been in for him. So many teams have inquired about his services. Obviously, Manchester City have been in there for him because they're obviously now looking for the replacement for Vincent Kompany. So I think his likely destinations are going to be Barcelona or PSG. Obviously, Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his current teammate Frankie de Jong, who Barcelona paid £65 million for. So maybe Matty Stirlett, wants to reunite with his current teammate. But he enjoyed a great season with Ajax last season. Ajax last season won the domestic double for the first time in 17 years. Also, won the Eredivisie title for the first time in 5 years, and of course progressed to Champions League semi-final. Obviously, so far anywhere, he's spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. He's been an Ajax player since the age of 9. Obviously, he's been in the senior squad since 2016 or something like that. He did make his senior debut just at the age of 17. He's now 19. Obviously, got named captain at the age of 18. He won the Golden Boy Award last year, so it's looking very imminent. He is going to be leaving Ajax. In terms of the transfer fees, he's probably going to cost you from 70 to £75 million, because that's what is initially rated at. But yeah, I just don't see Manchester United now getting him in. But I think he'd blend in very, very well alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, because Lindelof played well last season. He played really well last season, did Lindelof. I think he struggled in his first season, didn't really fit, didn't really, do well in his first season, struggled in his first season, but I think in his second season really stepped up to the plate, obviously, distribution very, very good, showing that ability to play out from the back and all that. His passing really, really good last season. So yeah, very, very impressed I was with Victor Lindelof. We got him a couple of years ago from Benfica for around £31 million. As you all know, there's been a lot of talks about Harry Maguire going on from Leicester, because I still believe that Manchester United are in for Harry Maguire. Also, Manchester City are in for Harry Maguire. And Harry Maguire, like I said, I think he's a really, really good central defender, Harry Maguire. He's Premier League proven, of course. He's been at Leicester a couple of seasons. I think Leicester know how much of the central player he is to them, so I think potentially Leicester have priced him out of the transfer market, because basically Leicester don't want to sell him. Recent reports did say Leicester want around 80 or 90 million pounds for his services, and don't get me wrong, Manchester United and Manchester City have got the financial power to meet that valuation, but the question is, Man United or Manchester City willing to pay that. I think recent reports said we probably would be reluctant to pay that kind of money for Harry Maguire, because I just don't think Harry Maguire's worth 80 or 90 million pounds. Obviously he's been relentless, linked with a move to Old Trafford, and obviously the rumours have continued about this since last summer, because obviously the process did start under Jose Mourinho, because obviously Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho wanted, but obviously last summer we didn't get him because we was not willing to pay what Leicester were demanding. I think Leicester last summer wanted around 70 or 75 million pounds for his services. But even if Harry Maguire doesn't leave Leicester this summer, I think at some point in his career he'll want to take his footballing career to the next level. He'll want to go to a club that can offer him Champions League football, go to a club that can compete, win trophies and all that. So obviously Manchester, in that aspect, Manchester City would be the right solution for him now. Obviously he's not going to experience this at Leicester, being in Champions League football, winning trophies and competing and all that. So at some point he'll want to take his footballing career to the next level. But I just don't see Man United or Manchester City willing to pay 80 or 90 million pounds for his services. I think City have identified him as their number one target to replace Vincent Kompany. But Harry Maguire signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he is under contract with them until 2025. 53. He's only 26 years of age. Like I said, he's in his prime. Still got a lot of years ahead of him. Initially, Leicester paid around £17 million for his services from Hull. I think he had quite a few years with Hull. He had the loan spell with Wigan, and he initially began his career with Sheffield United, did Harry Maguire, and I think he graduated from their youth system, went on to play like 166 professional games for Sheffield United. So if Man United and Manchester City were willing to pay 80 or 90 million pounds for his services, it'd make him the most expensive defender in world football. It'd obviously, because at the moment Virgil van Dijk is the most expensive defender in world football, and of course making the most expensive English player of all time, because obviously ahead of Kyle Walker, because I think Kyle Walker is the most expensive English player at the moment, who City initially paid £50 million for. Obviously there were add-ons included in the deal, which initially isn't it to around 52 or 53 million pounds. But yeah, we'll see what happens about Harry Maguire. Obviously, there's been other central defenders on our agenda. Obviously, Toby Alderweireld's been spoken about. And looking at it from a financial point of view, Toby Alderweireld, obviously he's going to substantially, cost you a lot less than Koulibaly from Napoli, Harry Maguire from Leicester, Matty Stillett from Ajax and all that. So he's going to substantially cost you a lot less, is Toby Alderweireld. But I don't think he's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend young players to come to Manchester United this summer. Obviously, Toby Alderweireld's aging up. Probably still get a couple of years out of him, but he's aging up now. He's 30 years of age, and plus he has lost that yard of pace, so I have got reservations about him. But he's available for £25 million this summer, because that's his initial release clause. He's refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham. He's proven in the Premier League. He's been at Tottenham about 4 years as Alderweireld. So obviously, Manchester United were linked with Alderweireld last summer. So there's a number of central defenders on our current agenda, as you all know. Like I said, probably 3 or 4 players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer, and I think another problem with Manchester United, we have let far too many players' contracts run down. But as he updated you earlier on in regards to Romelu Lukaku, I think now he's set to leave Manchester United. Well, he's been looking very, very imminent, of course. But like I said, there's a possibility chance he could remain at the football club, based on the huge transfer fee we've put on him. Obviously, it came out, was it a week or 2 ago, saying that, we were demanding that one around £80 million from him. And obviously, this is a figure that Inter Milan are going to be reluctant to meet. So I think Inter Milan are trying to orchestrate something out, to try and get the pursuit of Romelu Lukaku. Recent reports did come out saying that we turned down Inter Milan's offer of a player plus cash offer. We turned that offer down. He said Inter Milan were willing. Well, they offered Ivan Perisic, plus money for Romelu Lukaku, but he said Manchester United currently turned this down, because we know Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. He was a long-term target under Mourinho, but now he's no longer a Manchester United target, so we wouldn't be willing to go along with that. Also, Inter Milan have offered Icardi as well as part of the deal for Lukaku, but we're not keen on bringing Icardi in. So initially, he said we want £80 million. So basically, we're looking to recoup the initial, we're looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago. Obviously, from Everton, we got him for £75 million. Obviously, there were several add-ons included in the deal of £15 million, which initially risen it to £90 million, and he has still got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on about £250,000 a week, is Romelu Lukaku. But from his own preference, he wants to make the move to Inter Milan, because he was negotiating a while back, about his dream of playing in the Serie A, and also his agent, come out, did Lukaku's agent, and said, his future is very, very open. Obviously, Manchester United have told him that he can leave. Solskjaer said, he's a surplus to requirements at the club. But yeah, Antonio Conte got appointed as Inter Milan's manager a couple of weeks ago, and he's identified, Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. But basically, with the fee we're demanding, obviously, this couple of stumbling block of him making his move to Inter Milan. I think reportedly Inter Milan need to raise around £40 million before the 30th of June, to meet financial fair play regulations. So this could be another stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan. But like I said with Lukaku, he's been here a couple of seasons. I think he scored 42 goals in 96 games for us and all that. And but he never really got the opportunity in his second season with the club, because obviously we know mainly now he's lost his place in the team. We know mainly last season Rashford was first choice ahead of him. He did well in his first season. Lukaku did really, really well. I think he scored like 27 goals in all competitions, and I think he's too inconsistent now, and I think he's one of the problematic players, and I think we need to get rid of him, because obviously he's no longer going to be assured first team football at Manchester United, and obviously needs to go to Inter Milan, where he's going to be assured first team football, of course. But his ratio is still very good in the Premier League. He's scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. His pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League and all that. But as you all know, I've got reservations about him. Too slow, not really good in the air, big game bottler and all that. So I think it's beneficial if we do get rid of Romelu Lukaku. But he initially said the other week that Lukaku had been in Italy, negotiating, with Inter Milan's representatives over getting a deal over the line. And he didn't actually say everything's been agreed but the fee. He said Inter Milan had agreed the personal terms. He said the other week that Inter Milan agreed a 5-year deal with Romelu Lukaku worth around £7.5 million a year. I think bonus requirements involved, and it also said that Inter Milan are willing to meet his wage demands. It said Lukaku's willing to take a pay cut, so it did say it initially had been agreed, but obviously, the initial fee has not yet come to any kind of agreement. So we need to get rid of Romelu Lukaku. And obviously, if he goes anywhere, we're going to need a replacement for him, because that was another problem last season. We wasn't scoring enough goals. We wasn't being ruthless enough in front of goals. We might have been creating chances, but we wasn't scoring enough goals last season. So that was another problem last season. So we're going to need to get a striker, to replace Romelu Lukaku. But maybe we think he's, rate worth around maybe between 70 to 80 million pounds, because obviously we're reflecting on his age. He's in his prime. I think he's just turned 26 years of age, not too long ago and all that. But like I said, we spent big money on players. We've got a history of spending big on players, especially in recent years. Lukaku 75 million. Paul Pogba, of course, at 89 million pounds. Obviously, our most expensive player is Paul Pogba. But we do know with Paul Pogba, he's been heavily linked to a move away from Manchester United. He's been relentlessly linked to a move away from Manchester United. And obviously, his first choice preference, I do believe, is Real Madrid. Obviously, Juventus have been in there for Paul Pogba. Because a lot of reports were reflecting out last week saying that Juventus are interested in re-signing Paul Pogba. I don't think Juventus have yet put any kind of formal bidding for him, but it did say Juventus have been in negotiation with Manchester United. It also said Juventus have made negotiations with his agent Raiola and all that. So I think Juventus are interested in re-signing him. Maybe Paul Pogba would be open to making the return back to Turin, because don't forget he did have 4 good years in Turin, before he did make the return to Manchester United back in 2016. But he exceeded expectation levels in his 4 years with Turin, did really, really well, but he hasn't really replicated this form since he's come back to Manchester United and all that. So it is Juventus and Real Madrid that are in there for him, of course. I think maybe now from Florentino Perez's perspective at Real Madrid, maybe he's probably he probably prefers getting Christian Eriksen in the Paul Pogba, because maybe Florentino Perez feels as though that obviously Christian Eriksen is going to be a much cheaper solution for him at Real Madrid than it is going to be for Paul Pogba. But obviously Paul Pogba is one of Zinedine Zidane's main priority targets. But initially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't want Paul Pogba to leave the club, and this is why he's doing everything he can to try and keep him to the football club. He came out the other week saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba the captaincy in a bid, to convince him to stay at Manchester United. And he has still got 2 years left on his contract, with an option of the year, so I'll call it 3 years left on his contract. But we do know at least what in the last couple of months that Paul Pogba's agent Raiola has been in the process of finding a new club, of course. But like I was saying, Real Madrid are not keen on a straight cash payment for Paul Pogba. Obviously, Juventus themselves probably would have to offload a couple of their essential players as part of the deal to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because I don't think, Juventus, would be able to afford, Paul Pogba outright. So probably they would have to offload a couple of their essential players. But initially, I think we want around 150 or is it 160 million pounds for Paul Pogba. But obviously, I think this is obviously no figure that Real Madrid are reluctant to pay. But Real Madrid have got 2 players on the board. They've got Eden Hazard. They've also got they've got Eden Hazard and they've got Luka Jovic from Frankfurt. So now they'll be looking to get a deal over the line for Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba's blatantly made it clear he wants to leave Manchester United, because I think he wants to rejuvenate his career. And I think a couple of the main factor reasons why he wants to leave the club, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players, maybe he wants to be in Champions League football, maybe he wants to be in he wants to be winning trophies, wants to be up there competing, and obviously he's not experiencing this at Manchester United, of course. So there may be a couple of main factor reasons why he wants to leave the club. Obviously they built a great relationship up, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Pogba, because like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer watched some of this team this day and age grow and develop when he was managing the Manchester United reserve team and all that. But and obviously, of course, one of them was Paul Pogba. But recent reports have said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba's relationship is slowly fading and all that. So maybe he could be open to making the return back to Turin. Obviously, Paul Pogba was subject to a lot of transfer speculation last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho and all that. I think there was talks about him going to Barcelona in January. Also, Juventus were in for him last year, of course. But he's arguably, still one of the best midfielders in world football. Is Paul Pogba, when he's playing in the right vein, when he's playing in the right manner. Of course, when he's playing in the right vein, when he's playing there in the right manner and all that, he's one of the best in the world. But like I said, there's still, I think he probably will leave the club, but there's still a possibility chance he could remain here, Paul Pogba. Possibly Gareth Bale could be still part of the deal with Paul Pogba, if I'm going to be quite honest, because came out was it last week or was it early on this week, you know, saying that Real Madrid had preparing to offer Gareth Bale in a transfer offer for Paul Pogba. Recent reports have been coming out about Gareth Bale saying that Manchester United have inquired about getting him on loan and all that. Obviously, we're keen on getting him on a long-season loan, but I think it's potentially 2 seasons because there's an option to extend it for the 3rd year. Obviously, we wouldn't want to get Gareth Bale permanently, you know, based that he's injury-prone and all that. But I think from Real Madrid's preference, to want to get rid of him either way, but I think they'd want to get rid of him permanently, but they're going to find it difficult to get rid of him permanently, you know, based on his substantial wages and all that. It did initially say Real Madrid want around £75 million for him, so basically they're looking to recoup the majority of the money that they did pay for him from Tottenham 6 years ago, but Manchester United are reluctant to pay £75 million for Gareth Bale. So yeah, we inquired about getting him on loan. Reportedly we're willing to pay his wages off as well. What are you doing?
So what are you doing? Your tea's here.
Is it?
Yeah. You don't want to blow it in the air with them, Joe. They're worse than 6 then. Barman was saying in Black Lion last night they're worse than 6. I've stopped smoking them, mate. I've stopped them, mate.
Alright.
I think they're a pile of fucking shit. And they've been brought out just to make money. There's a load of fucking bollocks in there. Load of knackers. Just to take money off people, that's all they're there. Have you seen me no telly, Charlie?
No.
Well, look at it. Look at it. I'll tell you that. Look. £179. 32 inch. Look. Smart TV. It's like one downstairs. It's got everything on it. YouTube, look. Look, what's that? Look at that fella, look. Look. Netflix, look. Apps, everything. 179 subs. I get Sky up, but we're not on the DVD. I just got a DVD player as well. So that's 179, that, isn't it? Same size as yours, 32, but that's a smart. 179. These are going. Bye-bye to these. Bye-bye to these. No ones are coming tomorrow. I spent loads on that, Charlie.
Yeah.
Big thick toilet roll.
Yeah.
The young one laughed when we went, you shouldn't be checking that. Hey? You don't pay me 35 quid, Charlie.
Sorry about that, guys. Just had to go look at something. But yeah, as I was saying about Bale, so Man United inquired about getting him on loan. Obviously, willing to pay his wages, as I said. Obviously, willing to pay him a loan fee. And this could be beneficial for Real Madrid because obviously it will knock £50 million off their wage bill in the next couple of seasons. But obviously, Real Madrid want to get rid of Gareth Bale, obviously. Because obviously Zinedine Zidane has confirmed he has no future at the club. He's also confirmed that he doesn't, he no longer fits in his plans there with Real Madrid. And like I said, I've got strong reservations about him. He's aging up as well. He's 30 next month. He's injury prone, been inconsistent in the last couple of seasons, but his ratio's still good for Real Madrid. Though, to be fair, he scored 100 and how many goals he scored? Is it about 202 in 231 games? Provide them about 64 assists. Can play on the left, can also play him on the right. Can Gareth Bale? So we have inquired about getting him on loan, but we wouldn't want to get Gareth Bale permanently. But he has been relentlessly linked to a move to Old Trafford since 2013, and the rumours have continued to persist since then. So a lot of reports are going on about a couple of days ago saying Manchester United are inquiring about getting Gareth Bale on loan, of course. Like I've been basically updating you as well about Nicolas Pepe from Lille. I think he would be a much better solution than Gareth Bale, because obviously he's a lot younger than Gareth Bale, got a lot more development in him than Gareth Bale as Nicolas Pepe, and there has been quite a few teams in for Nicolas Pepe. I still think it remains uncertain where Nicolas Pepe will be playing his trade next season. Obviously it got confirmed a couple of weeks ago he's going to be leaving Lille, because obviously the Lille chairman had confirmed this, and obviously looking at it, he's the obvious candidate for the right win for Manchester United. He brings them goals that we do need and all that he can provide. He's got immense talent and all that, so I'd love him to come in. He was the revelation for Lille last season, scored 22 goals, provided 11 assists. Obviously, so far, has spent the entirety of his career in France as Nicolas Pepe. He has got a contract with them until 2022. He's been at Lille a couple of seasons. Lille got him from Angus back in 2017, but I think the quoted fee is around £70 million that Lille do want for him. So Manchester United have been in for him. Liverpool have made contact. Also, Bayern Munich have been in for him because they're looking for a replacement for Arjen Robben and Frank Ribery. I think also Arsenal have inquired about his services in the last couple of months. So they has been a lot of talks about Nicolas Pepe going on. But yeah, very, very good player indeed. It came out from Duncan Castles, who's actually, a journalist. He said Liverpool have been in contact, with the player and his agent, Nicolas Pepe's agent, over getting a deal finalised. He reported last month, though, that, Duncan Castles came out saying that Manchester United and Liverpool had both had expressed their interest, and it did say Man United have been in talks with Lille to sign him. It also says that Liverpool have been in talks with Lille to currently sign him. So I really, really like Nicolas Pepe. Obviously, reports were coming out about Hirving Lozano, weren't they, yesterday. I think he's probably still expected to join Napoli, but initially said his move to Napoli had stalled because reportedly it did say that Hirving Lozano, wants to join Manchester United, basically. So obviously he's hoping basically that Manchester United come in right at the final hurdle and do make an offer for him. Hirving Lozano, I think he was mentioned back in March at Manchester United and inquired about his services again. Would be a much better solution than Gareth Bale. Hirving Lozano is only 23 years of age. He's been at PSV a couple of seasons, really good in the World Cup with Mexico last summer. I think he's got a release clause as he's around around 34-35 million pounds, but I think initially he's valued around 40 million pounds. His Hirving Lozano, but I think his agent Raiola wants him to actually wants him to make the move to Napoli, so he wants that deal to get currently done and all that. So I do believe there's an element of truth in it, saying that he wants to join Manchester United, but I don't think Hirving Lozano will come to United. I think he'll probably end up making the move to Napoli and all that. But yeah, I think we inquired about his services in March. He can play as a winner. He can also play as a forward. Can Hirving Lozano. So yeah, there has been talks about him going on. And yeah, that's mainly everything to update today. So just wanted to give you an update on Manchester United. They've signed Daniel James, our first signing this summer, our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So now hopefully we can build on that, get another 4 or 5 players in that we do, potentially need, of course. And we'll see what happens. So it should be Bruno Fernandes, our second signing. And then the third signing maybe could be Wan-Bissaka, depending on if Crystal Palace are going to accept this £50 million bidding that Manchester United are preparing, of course, to put in. If we don't get Wan-Bissaka, we'll be looking at the possibility of Max Aarons from Norwich, maybe looking at the possibility of Thomas Meunier from PSG and all that. But yeah, good news that we've got Daniel James in. Long-term contract is signed, 5-year contract with an option, I think, to extend it by a further a year. So that has been officially confirmed. I'm a bit annoyed, about the news in regards to the director of football. Now we're not expected to appoint a sporting director in, because like I said, we need a structural change in the club, and this is why I said it was very essential that we got a director of football in. But now it's looking like there isn't going to be any structural change at the club. So now in these certain conditions, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going to be able to succeed? And this is what really, really does concern me indeed. But so many names have been linked to that director's role at the club. But yeah, it's obviously now it's going to be Ed Woodward that's going to be overseeing our transfer business. So very, very annoyed about this decision. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.